to him there and introduced myself, started chopping up with him. You know, Spice One, he's a real down-to-earth, humble, person, so he pretty much, he was open for conversation, and we just ended up clicking and staying in contact since then.
Hey man, I gotta say, I love the track that you got that yourself and Spice did called "King Me," man. Such a phenomenal song.
Yeah, man, I felt like it was necessary, to step outside the box and not deliver the same, so called, ordinary music. Just wanted to kind of, put something different out there in the universe.
And also, back in 2010, you actually released your debut record titled "Reality Check." I have to ask you, man, because of course, I've been a fan for quite a number of years of yours, man. So I have to ask you, are you actually satisfied with the progression that you made throughout your career? Because your sound now versus 2010 is a little different.
Yeah, I mean, we all got to start somewhere, I wouldn't have a story to tell, so I'm definitely satisfied with how I started off. I'm definitely proud of where I'm at now. Do I continue to want to get further within my career, of course. So I'm just striving for the stars, man, as much as possible. And that's that's good thing that you brought that up, because this actual album Clarity that I'm dropping January 5th, that's actually gonna reflect. It's gonna reflect a lot of our, So the people that don't really know my music, go check out all my old stuff. That when you hear this new album, you'll actually hear the growth.
And speaking of Reality Check, man, is that still available online for listeners to actually snag? Because I do know that some artists with their older projects, they tend to take them off and kind of revamp them type thing. Is it still out there to actually be purchased?
Yeah, it's up there, man. It's on all social medias. I don't plan on taking down anything. Like I said, I want my fans to really see my growth. I want them to feel me. I want them to, people that go through, doesn't necessarily have to be music, just in life in general, that have dreams, and making it somewhere and coming from nothing to know that it can be done, So I don't ever want to take any of that away.
And also, you did work with Sugar Free as well on the project Group Therapy, man. I have to ask you, how did yourself and Sugar Free get connected, and what was it like working with him, man? Because I've heard funny stories about Sugar Free, man, that he is a hoot just to be in the studio with.
Yeah, Sugar Free, man, he definitely got a different type of energy, but in a good way. Just through mutual people, we know a few, we have a few mutual friends, and just ended up kept crossing paths, really, what I mean, and eventually, he got to hear my music, got a liking to it, and pretty much reached out to me to hop on the album.
And also, I noticed as well that you actually did a freestyle on WorldstarHipHop.com. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about that, because, being recognized by Worldstar, man, they have a huge fan base, especially within the hip-hop community.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really do the freestyle thing as much so often as I used to before, and that's when I started off, freestyling off the top of the dome. But this new age freestyle, I haven't really tapped too much into it. And my boy Ross May from Bars and Guitars, he had that whole idea going. He was in the beginning. He's still in the beginning stages of launching that off and kind of building the name. But when I seen it, I was like, man, that's a dope ass idea. It's a dope little concept, But I wanted to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I've seen he had J.O. Felony on there before me and Terrence. They both did an amazing job, and I was like, man, that's pretty dope. It's different, you know what I'm saying? It's something different. So it made me want to reach out. I reached out to him personally. Was like, man, you know what? I think I need to hop on that. And he was all for it. He was excited, just as excited as I was, and I felt like what better place to do it than my hometown, Santa Ana.
And I gotta ask you as well, man, just actually being a part of Worldstar, did you actually notice your numbers go up drastically after that? Because I do know that Worldstar really has a knack for that. The moment you actually jump on their platform, you know what I mean, you have worldwide recognition.
You know what? To be honest with you, I haven't really gone back on the website. I went maybe the first day or two just to kind of see how it was doing. Those first couple of days, yeah, the numbers did get pretty big, but I don't know where it stands at now.
And also
I would hope a lot bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, most definitely. You know what I mean. I think Worldstar always has a knack for that, for opening up business for individuals. Man, I gotta say, shout out to their platform, man. One of the originals, but they're still going 10 times strong. And
Right, right.
And also, man, back in November, you were actually featured on Charisma's Slaps of the Week, Orange County edition. I have to ask you, well, what was it like actually taking part of in that story? And of course, can you tell us a bit more about Charisma Slaps? Like, what exactly is that?
That was dope. It's actually for DJ Charisma. She's a pretty well known DJ in Southern California. She DJs on Power 106, which is like one of the major FM radio stations out here. And she happens to come out of my city that I'm from, which is Santa Ana. And I've known her for quite some time. She's always been cool with me and whatnot. And she decided to randomly, I didn't know about it, she decided to randomly put together, a special edition for Orange County, which is the county that Santa Ana is out of. And it was dope. She liked one of my songs and decided to put it up on there.
And also, for the time that everybody has been waiting for, man, I also know, as you already talked about, January 5th, 2021, your brand new record, Clarity, will be dropping worldwide across all continents, countries, provinces, and states. I have to ask you, what can our listeners expect from that brand new album? And of course, will you have hard copies available upon release so individuals that really do still love that compact disc format, they can snag themselves a couple discs?
Man, I would say, expect to hear growth for sure. Like I said, if you've been following my journey, or if you're gonna, catch up to what's been going on throughout my journey, then you're definitely gonna hear the growth. I'm hoping to inspire a lot of people that are maybe just getting started, and maybe have second guesses or going through hard times, whatever the case may be, to know that it can be done. I'm definitely wanting to shine some more light on my area. And help maybe some of these other artists, up and coming artists, get on somehow. And as far as like hard copies and whatnot, that's still up in the air. I don't know. I don't see why not, but that's something that's still up in the air.
And I have to ask you, man, pertaining to Clarity, like, who's featured on your record, or is this all K9 the Boss?
And it's okay now, to be honest with you. The only people that's going to be on this album are singers. I didn't want to put any features on here. I wanted this album really to self-reflect, on me as an artist and as a person. So I felt like in order to, really get that across correctly would be, to not really have anybody else on there but me.
And one more thing about Clarity, man. I always like asking this, because there's always a story behind every single record. Like, what's the backstory behind Clarity? Like, what actually made you decide to put together such a well thought out, self record, I should say, because there's no features.
Yeah, well, the song's Clarity, of course, as well as the album. And the concept of the song really coincides with the concept of the album. And really, again, like I said, it reflects on me as a person. I've come such a long way, as an artist and as a person. And I've really sacrificed a lot. I've went through a lot of ups and downs. A lot of emotions. I feel like are going to show and pour throughout this album. It's gonna really reflect on it's pretty much going to bring everything together, all forefront. Everything full circle is going to come together on this album.
And I have to ask you, what is next for K9 the Boss? Other than Clarity, like, what's next on the horizon for you? Like, any new projects, anything else alongside Clarity that you want to help push and actually help shed some light on with stuff you hear live on the Canadian airwaves?
Yeah, man, Clarity's the only focus right now, to be honest with you. I'm very satisfied with the project I'm putting out. I think it's going to do great things. I think it's going to, like I said, it's going to inspire a lot of people. I believe it's going to reach higher waves than my music has ever reached in the past. So right now, I'm just focusing on the album, man, just really, really pushing it, really getting people to hear it.
So, K9, as you already know from our first interview, this is normally how I wrap things up. This is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. And of course, man, for individuals that don't already know who you are, where can they find you via social media and of course website-wise as well?
Yeah, just like to give a shout out, to everybody that's grinding with me behind the scenes, the ones that aren't being seen. My brother Lee, he's been helping me really fine tune my business. My boy Thomas, he's been helping me out with it as well. My boy Caution, man, always been there since day one as far as, so many ways, but he actually engineered this whole entire album. My producer, Cap Slaps, he's the one that did all the beats and whatnot on this album. So, other than that, man, everybody that's been following my journey, I appreciate y'all. The ones that are gonna after this interview go look into my music, man. I hope that you find something out of it that you can relate to, and and that's about it. I'm sorry, what was that last question?
Oh, I just where about individuals can find you and follow you.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, really, all you got to do is social media, all social media platforms, all streaming platforms. If you just type in my name, a lot of people spell it wrong, so I'm gonna spell it out for everybody. It's KAYNINEPHABOSS. That's K9 the Boss.
And I gotta say, K9, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It's always an honor and most definitely a privilege, man. I'm looking forward to Clarity when it drops to the general public, man. Keep doing you keep making it, and we are most definitely gonna keep spinning it.
As always, man. Wait.